Welcome to the Collective podcast. My name is Claire, and here at the Collective podcast, you can tune into my sleep stories and meditations, as well as mindful moment reflections, where I share my ideas and thoughts on subjects such as mindfulness, gratitude, authenticity, and living more slowly. Your journey to a more calmer, present, and intentional state of being starts right now. When you slow down, you see and appreciate the beauty that you never saw before. When you live with intention, you actively choose what is important to you and drop the rest. When you simplify, you create space for meaning and purpose to unfold. By slowing down and choosing to live more intentionally and simply, you dispose of negative energy and instead draw in positive energy. Not only will this shift make you feel light within, but you become more able to live your life with ease. Also, by decluttering your entire life, you also enhance your manifestation power by creating the space within to attract abundance. Cleaning out the clutter in your mind, as well as physically decluttering your home, inbox, and anything else that may be taking up space in your energetic field, will bring you more mind-body wellness. And it is also a great way to clear the path for abundance and miracles to unfold. So thank you for joining me for week 8 of the Everyday Miracles course. Today we will be dipping into slow, intentional, and simple living. There is also a breath awareness meditation that goes along with today's lesson. The link to this meditation can be found in the show notes. There is no denying that modern life is hectic and fast-paced. And once you get caught up in the whirlwind of trying to be something to everyone, it takes a lot of effort to break that cycle. The truth is that modern life will never leave us alone. It will always do its best to suck us up in the whirlwind of must and should. And sadly, the pressure of deadlines will never be completely obsolete. However, we can learn to live in harmony with the chaos. And this is done by slowing down, simplifying, and becoming intentional about every thought, action, and word that we speak. Simple, slow, and intentional living is built into your DNA. It is what your soul craves. And if you don't take the time to stop and slow down, busy living will eventually get the better of you. Generally, we don't appreciate the place that we are, and we spend our days dreaming, planning, and striving to arrive someplace else. So when we finally arrive at the destination, why is it that all too often we still feel lost? This constant cycle of striving and never arriving is not a way to live out our daily life. Living slow, simple, and intentional is an invitation to reduce stress and overwhelm and find freedom and calm in day-to-day living. For myself personally, after spending years entangled in clutter, despite all the warning signs, I became so buried in the clutter that my soul screamed at me to just stop. And I woke up one day and I just couldn't do it anymore, any of it. All of the clutter had become so heavy that I was forced to just stop and reevaluate my entire life. I was drowning in too much stuff, and internally I knew I needed to pare down. The bills from all my consumer spending, combined with my big mortgage, it all weighed on me, draining me of my time, my money, and my energy. Then there was the stressful job that I absolutely hated, but needed in order to pay for all my stuff. I felt trapped in a life that looked kind of glamorous on the outside, but was actually not bringing me any happiness whatsoever. It forced me to spend time evaluating what was truly important to me, not what was important to society, my friends, or my family, but what was important to me. And if I had any chance of finding some peace, I first had to get to my own truth. On my journey in chasing slow, simple, and intentional, I discovered that I was someone who needs nature. I need big skies, mountains, and water vistas. I need a yard where I can put a seat and sit in the afternoon sun. I need friendly neighbours, community gardens, reading circles, and plenty of trails for morning walks. I also need a place where I can keep all my rescue animals. I need a place where I can spend most of the day outdoors, enjoying greenery, wildflowers, butterflies, and the smell of eucalyptus, and only coming inside to prepare a simple meal or take an afternoon nap. I need to hear the morning song of the kookaburra. I also need a place where I can spend winter days doing activities outside, such as stand-up paddleboarding, snowshoeing, or horse riding. And then to be able to come inside and spend the night in front of a warm fire, reading a really good book. So after several years of working through the clutter and the mess and getting clear on what was important to me, I decided to sell my trendy Sydney terrace home for a move to the country. A move that also happened to involve selling most of my possessions so that I could start my slow, simple, and intentional country life anew. Simplifying my living, it has changed my life dramatically by inspiring me to get down to a more grounded life. I started gardening, making my beauty products, savouring my cups of tea, and prioritising more downtime. Slow, simple, and intentional living is not about white walls and open spaces. It is about finding ways that make you feel light and free. It's this kind of living that can't be defined, for it is different for everyone. Simple, slow, and intentional living revolves around removing anything that is unnecessary, be it objects, emotions, wants, or fears. It is about stripping life of all things false. So in today's lesson, I'm going to share with you things that I have learnt over the years as I have actively tried to slow, simplify, and live more intentionally. There are so many ways to live this way. These ideas are just a few. These ways that I bring forward today are to simply act as a refresher or check-in, maybe inspiring you to adjust or make small improvements in your own day. So let's take a look at the list. So the first one is to declutter your space. So this is the most obvious and probably the first task that everyone tackles when wanting to pare down life. So take a weekend or two to purge your stuff and organise your space. When you have less clutter, your life is definitely less chaotic, for you feel freer, are more productive, and you have a sense of calmness. Be relentless and get rid of as much as you can. Fill up empty boxes with your unwanted items and then give them to a charity. Then, with what you have decided to keep, organise it neatly. And you may want to do this every few weeks, as it is amazing what you will be willing to release the second time round. The next one is slow down and give yourself time. So daily life seems to have become a never-ending list of things to be done and tasks to be completed. Get up early, make breakfast, exercise, pack a lunch, get the kids to school, reply to all those emails, and on and on. But life will always be busy. But that doesn't mean that there's no time to slow down. Allow yourself the time to enjoy all those little things and do everything as well as possible rather than as fast as possible. You see, we're all guilty of a bit of clock watching as we busily buzz about our day. Make small changes to help you decelerate the pace of modern life so that you can enjoy every part of your day, even if that simply means slowing down your hurried walk to work. Things will take as long as they take, and being able to accept this will bring about a calmer state of being. The next one is prioritize your time. So time is valuable, and it is the one thing that we never seem to have enough of. Take the time to sit down and prioritize what is important to you and how you want to spend your time. Prioritize self-care and drop as much as you can that feels stressful or weary on your soul, including those things that you take on in order to make others happy. Then take action by writing it down in a planner. This will ensure that you get the most out of your precious time. The next one is to get clear about your values and your goals. With so many choices and opportunities, it can become so confusing with which way to go. Often, we live in a frenzy of different directions, causing us to become disconnected from our own truth and own authentic path. Start to ask yourself questions. Questions like, what lights me up? What do I believe to be true? Who am I? So get clear on your truth and what you believe. Identify what is most important to you and just eliminate everything else. The next one is learn to say no. So you only have limited time on this earth. So learn to use your time wisely, even if it means ruffling a few feathers when you say no. Overcommitting to other people's plans and agendas, it only wears you down. It causes you stress and makes you feel out of control. So look after your health and wellness by learning to say no. Setting healthy boundaries It helps you show up in the world as the best version of yourself. And yes, by all means, be there for others as it feels good to help out others, but keep within the boundaries that you have set for yourself. The next one is to declutter your mind. So simple living is the conscious act of purifying your mind of clutter and filling the space with things that you value. Identifying what is most important to you and eliminating everything else. Create instant space by dropping past regrets, worrying about the future, and letting go of the need to control everything. And release any cares that you may have of what people think of you. It is amazing how light and free you will feel when you give up trying to please and appease others. Making choices with intention. So most of us at some point in life, we've been guilty of living on autopilot and doing what's expected of us. For example, school, careers, families, mortgages, and you name it. We do this without actively deciding or even thinking about what we really want out of life. And when this happens, we stop living with purpose. And instead of thriving, we just are surviving. So making things worse without a clear sense of identity or purpose to fall back on, we try to fill the void by owning more stuff. Intentional living gets you back on purpose. It invites you to get clear on what is important to you so that you can start making intentional choices and align your life with the things that matter most to you. Redefining your meaning of success. So the only way to define success is that it brings inner peace within. So unfortunately, mainstream society has developed a very narrow view of success. True success can only come when you live a life of substance and meaning by actively choosing to align your life with your own values and truest self, and making a conscious effort to steer away from mainstream opinions. We are each our own masters and weavers, and the pursuit of success is truly a never-ending almost. Success is about mastering our own authentic journey and dropping the need to strive for the perfect outcome or destination. It's about knowing that the everyday ordinary can be extraordinary. It's also a deep knowing that life isn't about public recognition and accolades, but instead more about our own experiences and personal growth. It's a value that you have to mindfully choose again and again. You are not put on this planet to be the best, but to instead to enjoy the process of just being. The next one is to drop perfection. Living in a society that floods us with unattainable expectations around every topic imaginable, from how we should look to how we should raise our children. Putting down the perfection shield, it's super scary. But finding the courage to move from what will people think to I am enough, it's not easy. But however afraid we are of change, the question that we must ultimately answer is this: what's the greater risk? Letting go of what people think, or letting go of how we feel, what we believe, and what matters most to us? The moment that you stop trying to please other people by trying to meet their definition of perfect, you take a lot of weight off your shoulders. It's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to make really, really, really big mistakes. Pick yourself up and move on from them. So stop trying to be perfect and start living a more creative and expressive life that is aligned to your truest self. The world, it's not interested in some superficial, fake, and bad carbon copy of you. Instead, it wants to hear your most authentic, heartfelt truth. The next one is to embrace the ordinary. So, in today's overachieving world, ordinary has such a bad rap. Too often, we spend our lives chasing the dream. We spend far too much time striving and never arriving. Rather than getting so hung up on outcomes, choose to accept the everyday things as beautiful. Learn to find enjoyment in everything. This is related to being present, but taking it a step further. So, whatever you're doing, be fully present and also appreciate every aspect of it. For example, when you're washing dishes, instead of rushing through it as a boring chore to be finished quickly, just really feel the sensations of the water, the suds, and the dishes. It can be really an enjoyable task if you learn to see it that way. The same applies to other chores: washing the car, sweeping, dusting, laundry, and pretty much anything that you do. Life can be so much more enjoyable if you learn this simple habit. Have a sacred practice that uplifts your mind-body connection. So choose something that resonates with you. It can be anything from a simple morning yoga stretch, afternoon meditation, or Sunday morning church. Just try to do something daily, as it will do wonders for your overall sense of well-being. Create a nurturing home. Your home should be a sanctum, a place that is mindfully decorated and designed, a place to rest your weary head and soul, a haven that reconnects you to what truly is important. So create a home that is only filled with things that have an energy value to you. Things like photos, handmade items, art, plants, quality furnishings. You will connect to this energy, which in turn will make you feel calmer, grounded, and more content. So consume consciously. Green, ethical, and conscious living, it is the new black, with urban farms, locally sourced food, and ethically responsible consumer products on the uprise. When shopping for food, beauty products, clothes, and so forth, aspire to live more greener, gentler, and kinder. It's truly a beautiful philosophy. Not only does it energetically feel good to make conscious, intentional, and kind choices, it is also a way of life that protects the well-being of all beings and the planet. Seek out soulful and handmade treasures. Tap into your own creativity with do-it-yourself projects. Simplify your life and add character to your home with handmade items and items that you have upcycled. In a world that is so saturated in trends and fads, and an age of excessive consumerism, we can't help but be naturally drawn to the charm of handmade items. Stop frivolous spending. Mindlessly swiping your credit card is causing excess spending increased stress, and an overflowing pile of landfill. You work hard for your money, so stop wasting it on fast foods, clothes that you don't wear, or on the latest gadget that you can really live without. Spend time with people that you love. Stop tiring yourself out by spending time with people who bring you down and drain your energy. Try to disassociate with anyone who doesn't have your best interest at heart and replace them with the people who truly care. Spending time with the people that matter most, it will uplift and energize you. Enjoy your work. You spend 80% of your life working, so do something that makes you feel happy. And if you can't change your situation immediately, then focus on ways that you can make a difference in the work that you do. Otherwise, work towards changing your situation. Maybe in your free time, experiment with a new hobby, sign up for a course, or create a new business. Do less. We are a society of multitaskers. We have our mobile phone in one hand and a list of endless chores in the other. It takes commitment to make the effort to slow down, especially when we are so used to running at 1,000,000 miles an hour. However, I gently urge you to do less. Focus on what's important and let go of the rest. Schedule breathing space between your tasks and move through your day at a more leisurely pace. Live with mindfulness. Slowing down is simply not enough. You also need to be mindful of whatever you're doing at the time. If thoughts and worries distract you from the present moment, then get in the habit of becoming aware of your thoughts and your self-talk. When you find yourself future tripping, rehashing over the past, or beating yourself up with negative self-talk, simply allow yourself to breathe and gently bring yourself back to the present moment and to what you are doing. Keep free time free. It is all too easy to notice a free afternoon in a busy schedule and then to quickly rush and fill it. Leave your free time free and see what happens. Let your day evolve organically, and you'll have a deep sense of inner contentment and more calm state of mind at the end of it. Reevaluate your day. We tend to go about our day on autopilot, where hours are wasted and frivoled away on meaningless tasks and superficial connections. Create more time for doing things that you enjoy and spending time with the people that matter most to you. Acceptance of where you are. Learn to live life where you are today and be totally happy in it. Drop the endless chase and just slow down. Look for meaning and purpose in your day. Saunter through the seasons of your life and learn to enjoy the journey. Disconnect in order to reconnect. Take time to disconnect from everything. It's impossible to slow down when you're always filtering new information that is coming in at you. This means that if you carry around a mobile phone, you need to shut it off, or better yet, leave it at home. Stop checking your Facebook, email, or Instagram every 20 minutes. And if your work days are spent in front of a computer for most of the day, ensure that you take your lunch breaks and get outside without your phone. Being connected all the time wears you out. Plus, you are opening yourself up for interruptions and the demands of others. Connect with others in a meaningful way. Have you ever been guilty of being in a conversation with someone only to walk away and not really know what you were talking about? Too often, we spend time with friends, family, and work colleagues, and we're not really there with them. We talk to them, but we are distracted by our mobile phones or our own thoughts. So connect with people rather than just talking with them. Appreciate nature. Many of us spend hours cooped up within our home, our office, and car, and rarely do we get the chance to go outside throughout the day. And often, even when people are outside, they're talking, texting, or taking selfies on their mobile phones. So instead, take the time to truly go outside and really observe nature. Take a deep breath of fresh air, enjoy the serenity of water, and admire the greenery of the trees. Exercise outdoors when you can, or find other outdoor activities to enjoy, such as nature walks, hiking, swimming. Try to do this daily where possible. Breathe. Slow, mindful breathing will help you live with less stress and more ease. When you find yourself speeding up and stressing out, pause and take a deep breath. Then take a couple more. Really feel the air coming into your body and feel the stress going out. By fully focusing on each breath, you bring yourself back to the present and you slow yourself down. Seek balance and well-being. Don't let it take a health scare or tragic event to wake you up to make the changes to your life that you know in your heart that you need to start making today. Your mind, body, and heart have the capacity to tell you if something is not right. Choose to trust in that instinct and act on it. Take care of your mind and body. Build yourself strong and robust so that you have the energy and the positivity to live a life that truly matters to you. Live each day connected to life, doing the very best that you can for both yourself and others. Consume less. In today's world, where everything is super easy to replace, we tend to be a world of consumers, and as a result, this excess can actually decrease the enjoyment in life. By reducing excess and getting to the roots of simple living, you can savor and enjoy life more. You will become less distracted with the external gloss and become more focused on seeking out things that truly matter to you. Once you start to consume less, you will quickly come to realize that less is actually more. The slow, simple, and intentional life. It has a different meaning and a different value for every person. For some, it can be eliminating the endless stress and chaos of everyday modern living. For others, it may be taking the time to appreciate the simple things in life. And then there are those people who believe it is about uncluttering their life and getting rid of the things that stop them from doing the things that they love most. Overall, the slow, simple, and intentional life is defined by getting rid of the clutter in your life so that you can appreciate the things that matter to you and which give you value. However, getting back to the roots of simplicity isn't always a simple feat. It's a journey that can often be a process of 2 steps forward and 1 step backward. So when you're starting out, it's important that you do be gentle with yourself. The truth is, you will never reach your perfect life, for there will always be struggles, hardships, and steep climbs. The key to making it through these times is to not become a better person, but to instead surrender, allow, trust, and learn how to fall into grace. Upgrade your own life by creating more space. Do this by slowing down, simplifying, minimalising, observing, prioritising, and reevaluating. Refresh your perspective, reevaluate your priorities, and shift your focus to what truly matters most. Reevaluate your stuff, obligations, values, fears, and redefine your own definition of success. And drop the need to be perfect. I invite you to think about where your place may be. I also invite you to get strategic and plan on ways to get there. Yes, sure, it's scary, but it's definitely worth it. And for many of you, there'll be definitely things that you wish you could change, but you just can't right now. Maybe you can't move to your idyllic location because you have a family to support, or you have a secure job where you are. All I can say to this is that your slow, simple, and intentional life, it can start where you are right now, today. No matter your situation or income, this way of living is truly accessible to everyone. A great starting point is to start to declutter and simplify your current life so that you feel a deeper sense of connection and harmony to all around you. Create more simple habits into your daily life, such as tea rituals, gardening, knitting, reading, walks, shopping at farmers markets, spending more time cooking, and so forth. You've been given one precious life, so what are you going to do with it? Does the life that you're currently living represent your hopes, dreams, visions, and values? Or does it feel cluttered, busy, and out of alignment? Your perfect life and inner happiness is not something that you need to chase, obtain, or become. It's time to carve your own path and lean into whatever lights you up, for you have already arrived. Underneath your overwhelm, uncertainty, and self-doubt, there is a deep knowing that you are here to thrive and expand in extraordinary ways. By cleansing and decluttering both within and externally, you will create the space to connect with abundance, your purpose, and your best self. Drop the hurry and the need to chase. Take a deep breath in and put your hand on your heart and be present in the moment. Appreciate all that you are by saying to yourself, I am alive, I am present, I am living, I am noticing, I am creating, I am feeling, I am loving, and most importantly, I am being. Embrace the art of slow, simple, and intentional. Choose to venture off the beaten path and set your own pace and choose for yourself. Reject the influence of mainstream culture, a culture that tends to tell us what we should be doing and how we should be doing it, and instead focus on what lights you up and brings you great joy. Choose slow over fast and learn to see the extraordinary within the everyday simple and ordinary. And most importantly, just simply breathe, be, and live each moment with full intention. So thank you for joining me for today's lesson in the 12-week Everyday Miracles course. Until next week, may you live slow, simple, and intentional. May you live your life with ease. Namaste.